Yo, what's up? It's Brian, just over here at Hampstead Pond. Just got done doing some breathing exercises and jumping in the cold water. And I was just thinking about something that Robert Kiyosaki said to me on the show yesterday. And Robert, he is known as the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's the number one selling personal finance book of all time. But, you know, I like to listen to Robert for stuff that's not really about money. It's more about life. And something he said to me yesterday, and he also said the same thing to me when I interviewed him in Arizona about 6 months ago. And he said, Brian, you got to stop asking yourself what is good for you and what you want to do. But you got to start asking yourself the question, what does God want you to do? And those are two really distinct questions. And I feel like we grew up in a world, at least I grew up in a world in America in the 70s and 80s where it was like everybody wanted to get theirs, you know? How can I go get mine? And so I structured the first 40 years of my life around trying to go get mine. And I hadn't heard anyone like Robert, and I probably wouldn't have listened either, to be honest. And at some point something snapped and I started thinking more, maybe what does God want me to do? And whether you believe in God or not, I don't necessarily, but whatever you want to call God, the higher power, the universe, the energy, the whatever. What does God want you to do? And it's something I asked my whole team on Friday. You know, what does God want you to do? Not what is comfortable to do, not necessarily what makes you happy, definitely not the easy thing to do, but what does God want you to do? And maybe that means raising children. Maybe that means doing the hard thing, standing up for somebody, saying something that's unpopular, fighting the good fight. And I'm just something I'm pondering a lot lately. And I really feel the last 8 years of my life I've been doing what God wants me to do, which is this whole crazy thing called London Real and this whole adventure that you all have been a part of. And I'm so grateful for. And now that I look back at it, I guess that's what's been happening. And it's by no means an easy thing or not always a fun thing. And definitely not something always for my personal benefit, that's for sure. But it always feels like I'm driven or pulled to do this, you know? And I'm somehow doing something that's more important than me. And at the end of the day, that feels really good. And one of my guests, Jordan Peterson, said, a lot of us fixate on happiness and we don't fixate on something more important, which is meaning. Does your life have meaning? I meet a lot of people these days and their life doesn't have meaning. I see a lot of people on Instagram and I don't believe their life has meaning. And I think they're just as flabbergasted as I used to be as to why. Because why wouldn't I? I've got 1 million followers and I've got the bling and I'm on a jet, and at the end of the day, I'm depressed and on some type of pharmaceutical and don't really know what's going on because no one told me what I'm supposed to be doing here. And it's this subtle message, you know? It's like reading between the lines, knowing what to do. And looks like the sun came out right when I was having this chat with y'all here at Hampstead Pond, by the way. You got to check this place out. They got a diving board and everything. So it's just something to reflect on, and just maybe something for you to think about the rest of the day. You know, what does God want you to do? And I think when we're all on our deathbed, when we're 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 20, we can look back and be really proud of our life, knowing that we did something that served a higher purpose. Because, you know, I've spoken to over 500 people now in the leather chair, in the studio, and they all kind of are telling me the one thing is that, and I've learned this also in ayahuasca ceremonies and in meditations and in jumping into the cold pond and all this stuff, that we are all somehow one and we're all somehow connected and we're all here to give back to each other and survive also, and contribute. And so I think if we all followed that purpose, I think everything's going to work out. So those are my thoughts. Love to hear your thoughts on this, or just something for you to think about the rest of the day. Sending you peace from London. And if you ever come here, come to Hampstead, jump in this pond no matter what the weather. It's just an absolutely stunning place. Love England, love this country, and love getting cold, and love talking to y'all. All right, peace.